Hey Google, pause. Hi guys. Welcome to Word of the Day Wednesdays. I am author Nicole D. Miller. This is my debut novel, When Love Wins. When Love Wins is an urban Christian fiction story depicting two young female cousins with a rift in their relationship. When Natalie, the faith based social justice advocate writer, loses her mother, she moves in with her cousin Ashley, the urban socialite, artistic fashionista. And instead of a warm welcome, she gets an icy cold one. Learn more at whenlovewins.love. All right, so as you guys know, every week I piggyback off of my latest blog. The last blog post I just released is When Your Season is Ending. Now, writing this was therapeutic for me. I think the last several have been, you guys, to be honest, but writing this was therapeutic because it wasn't until conversation with a close friend that I was sharing these themes in my journey that I can see when a season is nearing its end for me. And I'll speak on one particular season that I know is coming to an end. And this particular season was just life giving. Like when I entered into the season, it was life giving. I felt refreshed. I knew it was a divine assignment. I was pouring into people, investing in others in a different and unique way. But when I started counting down the days for my assignment to end, that's when I knew, like, oh, it's time to go. Like, it's still a joy, but I feel more depleted. So I can say in that situation, that's kind of a telltale sign for me, which will lead me into the blog. So in the blog, a lot of the examples I have are in my career. I can see how a shift is about to take place once this career transition happens. And I see two signs in my career transitions. I am depleted, kind of like I am with this other situation. I'm depleted. I have nothing left to give. I'm at the end of my rope. You know, the grace I had before is wearing thin. Or B, I let me double check what my B was because I know like definitely I'm depleted. What was the other one? Oh, I become content. So it's kind of like two opposite ends of the spectrum. Either I got nothing left, or I'm like, I'm at ease. I could live in this space forever. Like, and that's not to say that I love the space. It's just that I've obtained contentment and grown in peace and character. Now, this is the tricky thing because there are times where I will be depleted, no more strength, and God still won't release me. But instead, He'll provide some type of reprieve, some type of switch to continue giving me stamina to endure in that space. And I talk about this in my blog when I was in my career. Starting out, I was being faithful with an assignment He had given me, and it was such a difficult experience for me because I was at a standstill, which would be a cycle in my career that He would use to grow me. And I had already been through, some waiting periods before then. And so I found myself being like, Lord, I'm just tapped out. I was in tears. I like broke down at work. And then right when I had like done that, I feel a tap on my shoulder. And it's a manager, and they're offering me a new position. And it was exactly what I needed for me to stay in that space, in that company. The truth is that didn't last, and I ended up being right back to where I started, and then went through a series of other, tests and waiting periods. But God used that to kind of just keep me there so I could finish the assignment. Another thing I talk about in this blog is that what I realized in my journey, and I definitely realized that God ministers to me or deals with me in cycles of my life. Like I will go through the same thing at a higher level of difficulty, even though before when I went through it, it was still very, very difficult. So I hate even using that word higher level. The only reason I say higher level is because I'm usually like in a more mature space, more developed, and the reward is going to be more impactful for others. But when I look back on my journey and I see that I get excited because he's released me from this space and I know that my season's ending or ended and I know I'm being promoted to the next level, I get super excited. And I prepare my heart for it in expectancy. And I'm like, yes, Lord, like I was faithful. You're going to reward me. And I get into that space only to find there is another test. And so that kind of happened to me recently where I was just like, yes, I'm released. You're giving me favor and promotion, and it was like, not so fast. Not so fast. Here's another test. You're sitting pretty. And I was like, man, why is it like this? So in my blog, I call that the bonus waiting. Like, have you ever felt like you waited and then there was bonus waiting? And another thing I share about in the blog is I could see these um, testing periods getting longer, you know. And I'm currently in one where I feel like it's lasted the longest. But one of the things I'll say in that regard is the harder the test, the greater the reward, the more impactful. So, one thing I would encourage you with if you're going through something similar, if you feel like you're in a waiting space, only to find a bonus waiting space, um, God is faithful. Like I can look at my journey and see that very clearly. And I can't speak to the world. I can't speak to other people who are going through these things and they don't see a reward per se, or they don't see purpose, they don't see a good outcome. I can only speak to myself, speak to other people with similar testimonies, speak to biblical characters with similar testimonies where I see purpose and I see like we do get rewarded. Like when you make choices for God and you lay down your life and you submit to Him, that is very valuable in the kingdom. And it does not go unrecognized and it does not go unrewarded. And I can see the rewards in my life. And the ones that are forthcoming, I know are going to be in response to even the season I'm in now. So if you're in need of encouragement, if you're like, why am I keep going through the same thing? Or I don't understand my life, or I don't understand these, obstacles in my life, read when your season is ending. Your season is ending. And pray for God to give you understanding of His ways, particularly in your life. Now, this is something I will share. As of late, the Father has been teaching me about prophetic numbers. And even though I know in church and spiritual backgrounds, we've touched on prophetic numbers, I never heard them called that. A. And B, we only knew the basics. Like I knew 3 was important. I knew 5 was grace. I knew 8 was new beginnings. I knew 7 was complete. I knew 12 was government, right? I knew that. But it wasn't until I started having my own personal experiences that God was teaching me and ministering to me. And it really started probably about 9 years ago, where He was, dealing with me or opening my eyes to numbers and seasons and years in my life. And now, even more so, because it's so pivotal with the season I'm in. So that's something I would encourage you guys to do your research on. Of course, weigh the sources and seek confirmation. But God wants us to have understanding, wisdom, and knowledge. And so, as we understand the way He deals with us, we can more effectively follow the plan for our lives, follow the blueprint. So, this is a side note because these beautiful flowers are here. I want to share with you guys my flowers. Look at my flowers. Yes. I got these flowers from my good friend Alicia Ellis. Shout out to Alicia. I love, love, love these flowers. I'm so blessed by my friends. Like, I'm in a very unique and sensitive season right now. And my friends are such a beautiful support. I know that I have beautiful women in my life, and I am so blessed by that. I've been so blessed to do my journey with these women for the last 2 decades of my life. And I know that that's an honor that I never want to take for granted. So, and I don't know. I feel like what God showed me, even in Alicia, giving me the flowers. Ugh, you guys, I struggle receiving. I struggle receiving. I know this about myself, but it wasn't until getting the flowers that I just like, this is an interesting, feeling here. I think it's just from being groomed to be independent and, kind of just being a sower. This is a revelation I had recently. It's like I don't see myself as a giver because people who I think are givers, I feel like they're just kind of always kind of like lavishing it on. And I do try to be sensitive to my boundaries in that regard. Like, am I called to give? Am I supposed to give? But what I realize is I'm a sower, so I see the value in people and others, and I will, pour in and invest. Um, but I think even that position has kind of brought forth this part where I have difficulty receiving, even though I've had a lot of people sow into me, especially in my faith journey and just when I was younger, and even my sisters, us walking these things out together. But I just know I normally take that role. And so her giving me the flowers was like, okay, this is new season to receive, Nicole. So that's just kind of a random side note. But check on my blog. So big news. Yay. Okay. So two things. One, I am going to Detroit next week with my friend Lisa Nichols. We will be in the house, and I will be getting my very first award from Career Mastered. And the award is for the emerging leader. I'm so excited, you guys. And the theme is I Am Resilient, and it's from May 15th through the 16th. Um, so that's happening next week. Then I am nominated for the Author of the Year by the Stiletto Boss Foundation. So I need your vote for that one, you guys. That one is basically a requirement for you guys to engage, participate, and partner with me. And it's in Cleveland, so you can come. But the link for the voting is in my link tree, and you have through May 30th to vote. And you can vote, and honestly, you guys, I did not vote today. I need to vote. But you can vote every 24 hours. So that's not every day, okay? It's not every day. You have to wait for the 24 hours to roll over, and then you can vote again. Yes, it works like that. So if you have no idea what I'm talking about, go on my link tree on Instagram, go on my Facebook business page or my Facebook page. It's pinned at the top. So Facebook business page is facebook.com/HTOHB, which stands for How to Overcome Heartbreak. So those are the two biggies. There is an event that I'm going to be a part of that's happening this month, but I'm waiting to solidify the date before I announce it. And other than that, your girl is busy, just on the grind, pushing out these book projects, trying to make the dream happen. Excited about this weather. Definitely need somebody to consistently mow my lawn, but that's another story. Excited that summer is here and coming. That I got my little braids done. So special shout out to my girl Robin. She killed it. Love that girl. So check her out. And that's about it, you guys. So thank you for tuning in to Word of the Day Wednesdays, and I will see you next week.